Hey, how's it going? My name's Nat. Coming up on Newsbreak, we check out some high-tech mouthguards, video games at risk of being lost forever, and a train that makes music. But before we get started, hit subscribe. The AFL has announced plans to get high-tech mouthguards to junior and amateur players around the country. Kale checks out how this fancy mouth tech is helping to combat concussions.
Footy is full of big hits.
I jumped up for the ball and got hit in the head and got a bruised eye.
My teammate came running in and smashed into my eye.
Someone tackled me to the ground and I hit my head really hard.
But imagine having a mouthguard that tells you how big that hit really is. Say g'day to the HitIQ mouthguard. These high-tech mouthguards have a sensor chip that records the force of any hit a player receives. It can help players keep track of concussions, even when they may not have even realised they've been concussed. A concussion happens when your head takes a big knock and your brain bumps around and bruises, or even gets small tears in the nerves. It can lead to symptoms like dizziness, confusion, or blacking out, and can cause serious problems later in life. That's why the AFL and AFLW players will all have access to them by next season, and it's even being rolled out to local clubs by 2023.
So, do you think having these mouthguards is a good idea?
Huh? What did you say?
Sorry.
Do you think having these mouthguards is a good idea?
When you play football, it's a bit weird to have your microchips in your mouth and that.
We could have a trial on it and test, see how bad concussions are in local footy.
A lot of players have had to quit because of concussions.
Students in Adelaide have been given the chance to chat to an astronaut on the International Space Station. A group of kids from around SA quizzed American astronaut Shannon Walker on everything from travel sickness to how they keep themselves entertained.
I want to know, what do you do to entertain yourself in such a small place for a long time with so few people? Over.
Excellent question. Well, we do various things to entertain ourselves. We can watch movies, we can listen to music, we can watch TV shows. So it's just like hanging out with your family. Over.
One of the world's biggest gaming companies has announced it's closing some of its online stores. That could lead to hundreds of video games being lost forever, and it has some gamers really worried.
It's the end of an era. We bid farewell to a close friend. Goodbye, old sport.
Yeah, it's a sad day for gamers everywhere. Sony's announced it's closing the online stores of some of its old consoles on July 2nd. In the past, this wouldn't have been a big deal, because games used to release on CDs or cartridges, so you could always find or buy an old game second-hand. But the PS3 and the PSP were some of the first consoles to have digital-only games. So, without the online store, there won't be anywhere you can download them, and all up, 138 games will be disappearing. Experts are now calling for video games to be preserved in national archives, in the same way that films and music are, so they don't get lost forever. People in the industry argue that games can be just as culturally important as things like paintings, music and movies, because they showcase amazing tech, art design and stories. Meaning that old PS3 in your mate's garage that's loaded up with funky lab rat may just become an ancient artifact worthy of a museum exhibit.
Now for some light-hearted news stories from around the world. Well, now I've lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right, we're starting with a train. This model museum in Germany has just broken the world record for the longest melody played by a model train. The track goes for 5.5 minutes and took a team of people weeks to set up the nearly 3,000 glasses. Switching tracks now to the UK, where this peregrine falcon has become a viral hit. People from all over have been tuning in to watch it raise these newly laid eggs, thanks to a live stream set up on top of a church.
They look good and they're nice.
Summed it up perfectly. At this pop-up theme park in California, it's full steam ahead. The Sugar Rush Park's been set up in the States to give people a chance to visit a COVID-safe theme park.
The minute I stepped in here, I felt like I'm having a sugar rush without eating any sugar.
Well, there are lollies everywhere, but they all taste terrible because they're made out of foam, plastic, and fiberglass. Not yum. That's it from us. The Newsbreak train is just about to leave the station, so better get going. See you tomorrow.